See, the key to any good wrestler, the key to any great wrestler is that intro music has to pop.
It's got to hit.
And then when it comes on, the crowd got to go crazy. They've got to get juiced up. They've got to get into it.
It's called the pop, B.
You got to have the pop, that pop. And that right there, Swerve Strickland. When he comes into the ring, there's that pop. Let's get his mic on there. Parker, he'll come up right there. Press the on button right there as we have Swerve Strickland in studio here. In studio. Come, Loveman, come help him out. Put this mic on. Swerve Strickland in studio.
Here.
Do something around here.
Before we get DDT'd.
Chase Hitter Live Revolution Sunday, March 5th. Sunday, this Sunday, March 5th at 4 o'clock at Chase Center, Revolution. Swerve Strickland to be in a ring with his boy Parker here. The Mogul Affiliates. Mogul Affiliates in the building.
What's
Friday,
good?
March 3rd, Cow Palace, 6 p.m., AEW Rampage. Swerve, good morning, man. Welcome to the Morning Roast.
What's up?
Thank you for having me. Y'all woke me up hella early, but this is dope.
Hey, man, you still came out here swagged up with the J's on. You got the leather. You got Parker right behind you with the bling bling. So tell us how you got into wrestling.
Oh, man, this goes back. March makes 14 years now. Literally just finished up high school and then went into my military training, did my basic training and all that stuff, came back to my civilian life, and I just wasn't feeling it. I felt like I needed to chase my dreams now while I was 17, 18 years old, while I'm youthful. Still got the whole world is my oyster type feeling, and I got a lot ahead of me. So I just took all my stuff, moved down from Pennsylvania to Virginia, and just went after it. I was and I got support from my mother, and that was really it. That was my biggest supporter. She just was
So she was all in.
She was all in on anything that I'm going to aspire to do, as long as I'm not in the street. I'm not doing nothing crazy. She's like, hey, I know where you are at all times. It's a positive thing. Just be careful. Don't hurt yourself. And, take care of your kids. And at the same time, when I started training, a couple months later, my oldest daughter was born. So this is all 18, 19 years old. So it was a tough start.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Especially military, having a job, having school at the time, and then having to train to become a professional wrestler. I juggled a lot at 18.
Well, take me back to the beginning, because we were going down memory lane. We both grew up, obviously, WWE, WCW, but the Hogan era to the Attitude era to the Monday Night Wars era, that's what me and my brother would literally wrestle in the living room all day, every day. I mean, from hitting each other with pans, you name it. I was doing pile drives on him. My mom used to get mad that I was going to break his neck. We would go at it. I mean, we had guys getting in trouble at school all day when we were in high school. So who were the guys that influenced you and got you into it at that impressionable age?
It's crazy. When you get in trouble at school, that's what the testament is of, okay, you're doing something right, because you're taking that over and you're doing it at school, and then you're doing it with your friends, and you do it doing it at the grocery store. That's influence. For me, it was Rey Mysterio was the first person that jumped off the page.
Wow,
for me.
Hurricanrana?
Yeah, West Coast pop, crazy. I watched July 2002 when he debuted against Chavo Guerrero.
Okay.
I'll never forget it.
Really?
Yeah.
How old were you at that time, approximately?
I was 12.
Wow.
I remember exactly that day. I remember my age. I remember the house I was living at the time. I will never forget that moment. Time stood still watching him, and he still has that effect on me watching him till this day.
Yeah.
Same. And I got to wrestle him at one point when he was on the Independence, and he was vibing between the Independence and Lucha Underground, and meeting him at that time.
Yeah.
And being on the locker room with him, and then traveling to Mexico and doing tours with him. He became an uncle figure to me.
Yeah.
So
That's dope.
him, Dominic are real cool people. This amazing people. They always say never meet your heroes.
Yeah.
Right.
Ray was he just demolished that saying, because he was amazing.
Was it the athleticism? Because I remember when Rey Mysterio first came up, it was all the big dudes, like your boy behind you now. Parker was looking like he's ready to slam me through a glass window.
Yeah. Parker, hey, if you say something wrong, it looked like Parker ready to DDT us into this computer.
I think he might, but that, all the big guys. And Macho Man, he was athletic, but not like Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio was cruiserweight, and then it became mainstream to be cruiserweight and to be a high flyer.
Yes.
He's like the Steph Curry of wrestling in the sense that he changed the game.
And that was the ruthless aggression era, where he debuted, and that was where a lot of big guys you had remember the Nathan Joneses, the Luther Reigns, Heidenreichs, all those Jindrax, and then Evolution came, and then you still had Brock like soared into becoming
Brock
Lesnar.
He was great.
You know, then you had Batista on the come up.
Love
you know,
Batista.
so it was like, so that was like, they weren't just big guys. These were like massive guys, but like, there was like sometimes me and Hurricane, I talked to him a lot. He was like, man, like he knew growing up, like growing up with the Hardys and stuff like that. Like I remember he did a seminar. This is years ago, and I asked a question. I'm like, hey, what makes somebody like a special talent? And he was just like, you know what? That's something I can't even explain. I can't tell you guys that. I can teach you all this, but I can't teach you how to have the it factor. He's like, growing up, like Jeff Hardy always just had that.
Yeah, it was some innate
There's just something
quality.
about him.
Yeah.
It's nothing that like he was like trying to do or trying to be anything. He just was. And that's what Rey Mysterio was and still is. He's just like we see luchadors all the time.
Right.
We see a lot of athletic at this day and age, like starting at a younger age, doing like getting on mainstream, doing the stuff he's doing. But like there's just something special about Rey. Something special about the Mysterio name, the look, the moves, the tattoos, the ominous of him. It's just something about him, you know.
No doubt. Swerve Strickland in studio here on the Morning Russell Shaskin Bonte. A lot of fun chasing her for Revolution on Sunday. And Sunday will mark the 1-year anniversary of you entering and debuting in the AEW. Talk about your year rise here. You're standing next to Parker. You've grown up. We'll get to Rick Ross in a second. You rap over your own intro, which is iconic in a way. I would love
John
for you to
Cena
bust a
get
rap.
away.
Right, yeah, absolutely. He's got nothing on Swerve.
One thing about this beat that John Cena never had is a Grammy Award winning producers.
Oh.
So like, yeah.
Oh.
So
Who
shout
produced this track?
out Prophet the producer. He worked on Donda. I went to the Grammys last year actually with him when Donda was nominated for Album of the Year, and he won 2 Grammys for his work on the Hurricane track with Weeknd, and Lil Baby, and the track Jail. So I watched him win those 2.
That's awesome.
So we went right to the studio like actually a couple weeks before that, but yeah. So that's
so you got that banger, and now you're going to have your 1-year anniversary.
1-year anniversary.
Talk about your 1 year and how this year has changed your life.
I packed in a lot in on this year. I was like motivated after like, you know, being let go at WWE. I was like, just the 90 days that I had, I didn't like sit down. I was constantly moving. I went to Hollywood, linked up with so many people, and like I currently like do stunt training with my buddy Guy. Shout out Guy, man. He's currently just finished wrapping up Guardians of the Galaxy 3. He was in the suit on Deadpool. He was Black Panther and Civil War and all these other like Endgame and Infinity War. So I work with him on stuff. My man Flash got me in the studio with Chase the Money, who's worked with Travis Scott, Don Toliver, Dreamville, J. Cole, and all them. He just produced something for Fast X movie. So I just did a song with him. And that was just in the last couple months, but like the whole year is just
tag team champion,
Rick Ross, Kevin Gates, fabulous coming out with us, you know, Bun B coming through.
Oh, nice.
Like having Quincy and King Combs at the LA Forum this past year. The year before that, Jeff Hamilton, you know, who gave me this jacket last time we were at LA Forum last year. And if you don't know Jeff Hamilton, world famous like fashion designer.
Yeah, just say yuck mouth. We know who Jeff Hamilton jackets are around here.
We know about
every NBA patch on there.
One of the 75th anniversary NBA jackets, Jeff Hamilton, with all the patches.
That was Jeff. He gave Steph Curry a jacket.
Exactly.
After breaking the 3-point record.
Parker, man, I got to ask about Parker. Man, Parker doesn't speak. Well, I don't know if he speaks or not, but Parker looks like he's got your back to the fullest as a Mogul affiliate, one half of the Mogul affiliate. He's got the bling bling. Tell us about Parker, because I don't know what Parker looked like. He's about to boot up on somebody.
Yeah, he does.
Parker, first off, his presence here isn't the fact that I need protection. I want him there. I want him there because that's what moguls are. If we don't move by ourselves, we move with our affiliates,
no doubt,
affiliations. And this man is probably one of the most tapped in, affiliated people in the wrestling game. Period. 1 million followers on Instagram. Has like. He talks with Kevin Durant. He FaceTimes with The Weeknd all the time. I've seen him do it. You know,
Parker's a boss.
Oh,
I wouldn't mess with Parker.
No, you can't. Like, if people are like, "Wow, why is this dude around you? Why is this like what's the affiliation here? I'm like, have you seen this social media? Like, we kind of roll in the same circles a lot of ways. Like, he's tapped in with OVO and all that stuff.
Oh, really? They just put out a bunch of NFL jackets.
Yeah.
Well, I know. Trust me.
You might see a Mogul affiliate collab with OVO.
Well, look
you never
at
know.
you.
But that's the beauty of that.
Yeah.
Anything's possible with us, like, teaming up like that. That's why we here.
So take me back to like because I remember when I went to I grew up right near Cow Palace, right? So me and my brother went to the Cow Palace JVC Kaboom Box. I'll never forget. It was a house show. You know, it wasn't on TV. This was one of those Saturday night house shows. And you look out in the crowd, and it's a who's who, every gender, every age, every color. And I know wrestling gets unfairly stereotyped left and right by people that aren't maybe wrestling fans, but like it was an experience I will never forget. Watching the ring move, seeing these guys jump around. Like I saw The Undertaker, like in his prime, Stone Cold, Mankind. I thought it was the greatest thing of all time. Take me back to the first house show or the first time either of you were a fan in person watching wrestling.
It was I went to a live event when I was a kid. It was like it was in Buffalo, New York. My dad used to take me for the summers.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go to a wrestling show, and he took me to a live event. This was like, it was like, it was, you know, live shows is like not the big shows.
Yeah.
But God, the roster they had at that time, you would think this was like a pay-per-view.
Right.
You were having like Bubba Ray and singles matches doing a table match. Jericho was on. Like Triple H was main eventing. Like, man, I remember that show like vividly. Like you were seeing like a who's who on this live event. And this is just like, these are just the guys just doing their thing. I think that was just so special. That's why I was like, man, that energy I wanted a part of.
Right. Now take us back to when you did get released from the WWE. How did that motivate you? How disappointing was that? Because you bounced back in a major way here. You're going to be at Revolution on Sunday at Chase Center in front of a packed house. But how motivating and how disappointing was it to get released from WWE? Because a lot of people think WWE has been a gold standard for so long, even though AEW is starting to catch them and close that gap.
As many things as WWE does right, there's a lot of things that WWE does wrong, and I was one of those. And I wanted to make sure I proved that. Like, I was one of the worst decisions you could make. Because I also sat in that for a little bit, like, of being disappointed. I was like, didn't want to tell my family for, like, a couple days at first. And I was like, man, how about I, like, turn this energy and this emotion into something positive? How do I use this as fuel? Like, I need to power this locomotive. And I just went balls to the wall. I'm like, I want to start doing stuff that nobody on the industry can do. And that's where like a lot of these things started coming through. And I just worked so hard. I traveled. I left like I went across. I like literally went across the country for like 2 weeks in LA, just making moves. Then I was like, let me hit up some old contacts, like do some New Japan stuff. Like my first match out of my 90 days was against Jay White. You know, so that's like, who else? Like that's one of the highest talent, highest you can go.
Yeah,
right.
You know, and like just just keeping the momentum up. I remember back when, this was before he got signed to NXT and stuff. I was talking with Tommaso Ciampa, and he was like out of Ring of Honor deal, and he was just floating for a while. But he kept showing up on Impact, then he showed up on SmackDown, then he showed up on Raw, then he showed up on NXT, then he showed up over here. Then he was on Progress. Then he did Bola. He was just everywhere. And he was just like, hey, just go get over. Go get it. Go get over. Then everything's going to come to you. And that's what I was trying to do. I just went and got over, not only just in the wrestling space, but in the entertainment space. Because I wanted to do something that nobody else could do. And like nobody else could help me with either.
So take me back to like, why do you think that the thing failed with the WWE? Because he's Stone Cold. He tried to go with WCW, and then he had to switch up his entire character. Sometimes guys feel like they don't have enough creative control on how they want to be portrayed. Do they want to be a heel, a baby face, somewhere in between? So what was there like a just you don't think you were used right?
I didn't think they understood how to use it.
Gotcha.
And right now, I still don't think they understand how to use it. But that's the space of what hip hop is. Yeah. You know, it's like the thing is, I say this to the fan base now, especially at this point in my career, I'm not for wrestling fans. That's not what my purpose is anymore. I've evolved past that. Now I'm for everybody else who wants to be the wrestling fan. Now, like I'm for like, is it like you have those guys, you have that.
Right.
Now I'm for something beyond that. Like I want to push, like there's a ceiling, I'm raising it. If anything, I'm breaking through, making sure there is no ceiling. Because once you see there's a ceiling, that's where the growth stops.
Yeah.
You can't go any higher. I'm breaking through that ceiling to raise it to a point that, like, now the possibilities are endless.
So, what about Jericho? Because you talk about Jericho. I mean, this guy is
Jericho's someone who raised the bar.
I mean, he's a legend.
Incredibly.
He's a legend. So tell people about Chris Jericho. I mean, he went from independent. I remember him in ECW way back in the Sabu age, like way back RVD days, WCW, WWE, and now to me, he's one of the headliners in terms of the creative and just everything I see. Yeah. And he legitimizes everything over there.
Yeah. Well, man, he's someone who's also, he's very honest with himself, and he knows when to change direction on things. He's very adaptable. He moves things around. If things are like staying too long in one thing, he's like, okay, it's time to move to this. He's not too much of a fan of his own work.
Yeah.
He knows when it's like, that wasn't it. But I know how to fix it, and I know how to like readjust things. He also knows how to tap in to what's kind of like more hip, more cultural, what's popping, what's hot, what's now, what's like, but also knows how to also navigate backwards and knows, oh, they remember this. Let me bring that to the forefront too.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll remember this because this was hot at this point. Let me bring that. He's like very much a wizard.
Right. Like, he's a savant.
Magician behind the scenes.
He's a savant.
Yeah, and he's I admire that so much because, like, especially being on the Jericho cruise with him, watching how much he does. Like, man never slept. He was like did like 6 or 7 sets of like performing with Fozzy and his cover band. Wow. You know, then like doing Q&As, then doing the Jericho podcast, then doing like meet and greets, then like making sure this is going on. Then he wrestled. Then he making sure the show is going straight.
Right.
I'm like, about man, I'm like, this dude, this is somebody you should like strive to try to be like, or you know, it's hard shoes to fill.
Yeah.
But God, you want to try.
So tell us about you. What's coming up on Sunday at Chase Center? Again, Revolution, Sunday at Chase Center, 4 p.m. It's going to be hot. AEW coming to Chase Center. It's going to be packed. Powerhouse Hobbs from down the street. He's now going to be in the building to face a Revolution.
I like that name for him, Powerhouse Hobbs.
Powerhouse Hobbs. He's legit. He's got big arms.
That fool is jacked out of his mind.
He put me in a headlock on Sunday, man. It was not nice.
Before we get to Sunday, man, we got to talk about
Friday.
Friday
at the Cow Palace. Yes.
Oh, my neck of the woods.
Yeah.
Friday. Welcome to my side of the city.
What's going on tomorrow? Tell us about it.
Well, first off, we got myself and you see him Parker.
Yeah, I see Parker. Well, trust me, we all see Parker.
Yeah. You're going to see a lot more of him on Friday night, tomorrow night, when we go against Dustin Rhodes and Keith Lee.
Legendary family right there.
Right. Legendary family. And people are like, what's the correlation between the Dustin Rhodes and Keith Lee? Well, it was Dusty Rhodes that gave Keith Lee the Limitless name. So
I didn't know that.
Exactly.
I didn't know that.
So there's some history there. So it's like,
so the story is you turned your back on Keith Lee.
I didn't turn my back on Keith Lee. Keith Lee didn't want to level up. There's a difference.
Sounds like someone I know.
Like I said, we raised the bar, and if you ain't raising with us, we leaving you behind.
I like
if you're
that.
in my way, we gonna stomp a cinder block through you.
And so that's what's gonna go down tomorrow night at the Cow Palace.
We might have Cindy around, you know. That's what we named her. We gave her the name Cindy. I don't know if I told anybody yet.
Oh, okay.
Let's do a smile for Parker with that.
I like that.
We got a smile for him.
He had fun with that.
I like that.
I can tell.
Let's do some quick ones. I want to do some quick hitters here. We like to have fun. Quick hitters. Favorite movie of all time?
Fight Club.
Fight Club. Okay. Athlete you want to be not in the wrestling sphere right now. If you could switch with anyone.
If I could switch with anybody right now, man. That's tough. Pat Mahomes.
Pat Mahomes.
He's on top of the world.
He's tough. He's a legend at 27 already.
Right.
What's the cheat food that you go to on the day you're allowed to cheat?
Cheesecake.
Cheesecake? New York style?
Why y'all laughing?
Because we all got a sweet tooth. We all got a sweet tooth.
Parker's right here.
If you weren't doing wrestling, what would you be doing?
Probably if I was like, because wrestling opened up like the doorways to like music and all the other things.
You'd be rapping.
Oh no! I didn't start rapping until like about 3 years ago.
Okay.
So I would say probably military.
Oh wow!
I think I'd
really
like
respect.
What would you be doing in the military?
Well, I was a signal support communications, which is like radioing.
Oh, nice.
So I'd probably be trying to pursue that to the fullest extent that I could.
PS5, Xbox.
The 5.
Yeah, what you playing?
Right now, I just picked up. I play Madden regularly because of we have a league going on.
Oh, nice.
And Captain Sean Dean is in our league.
So who's the team? Who's your go-to team?
Oh, we do fantasy drafts, so we got everybody like all over the
you
place.
just-
Are you
the
a Steeler
players.
fan
Yeah.
now? Come on.
Never.
No, who are you?
L.A. Rams.
LA
Oh, you're a Rams fan?
L.A. Rams.
Oh,
I
you're
was
like the only
hyped.
Rams fan in California.
That's cool. Because
best
we're
venue-
meant to be St. Louis.
Right.
Is that the best venue that you've wrestled at, SoFi?
I never wrestled at SoFi.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But I wrestled at Barclays.
Oh,
Barclays is a
sweet.
nice gym.
That was pretty special.
Barclays is nice.
That was pretty special.
Tell us about the affiliation with Rick Ross, because the boss came in a cameo, which is iconic. He also told the girl, hey, he was cute. The G-Wag was waiting. So tell us about Rick Ross.
Accusations, man. Man, first off, Rick Ross is a wrestling fan through and through. But where else would you see him? Where else on that show, on that roster, would you see Rick Ross affiliation pull him into our universe? Wow. Only us.
Yes.
Only us. It gave us one of the best gifts of 2022 with the accusations thing.
Yes.
You know, who else could pull that off except Swerve?
That was great.
Who else could do that? You know what I mean? And like, so once again, I pride myself in being that conduit to something that like only I can be in the place to make this happen and bring this to the television audience.
Yeah.
So that's just the start. That was just like 1 or 2 appearances. Imagine what else I can do with more.
So two quick ones before you go. Who's the guy that or gal that you're surprised is your fan? A celebrity out there you're like, damn, they're feeling my work?
The Weeknd.
Okay.
Pretty big. Yeah. He's a fan of Parker's, a friend of his.
Nice.
That blows my mind. 21 Savage actually is a fan too.
A lot?
21 Savage.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look,
He's
and
actually
then-
a fan too.
And then last one, because we always remember the haters. That's we like to address the
We
haters.
got haters on this show.
We put them in our
People-
back pocket.
yeah,
We use them as
haters everywhere.
motivation.
They're haters on the chat roll right
it's
now.
like our Popeye spinach.
Yeah.
Keep it real. Who's the guy that said you ain't gonna be where you are today that you think about from time to time? Like, yeah, look at me now.
Ooh.
WWE, right?
There's some coaches in there I could really ring out. Right.
You don't got to do all that, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like,
We like
do
to
you
take
look
the
back
high
and go,
road.
look at me now? Because we do it time to time.
We
Like,
like to
hey, you
take
know
the high
what?
road, Swerve.
It's okay to like
Right.
survey where you've landed.
Man, I'll tell you one thing. I wouldn't say guys, but there's some women out there back in the day that didn't believe in the grind. Little Swerve.
Yeah, back then they didn't
making
want
it
you.
happen.
We've all
Now
got
you're
one of those,
hot.
Swerve.
Yeah,
We
Mike
got
Jones.
some
some
one
little
of those.
Mike Jones
Mike
little energy out
Jones?
there.
Yeah.
So I will say there is plenty of that. That them DMs kind of got a little flooded after a couple of years. So there is a little bit of that.
Favorite finishing move in the history of wrestling?
I've been asked this question before and I never could like really answer it.
Sweet chin music.
My favorite finisher? I'm a big fan of the spear.
Oh yeah.
I'm a big fan of it.
There we
Yeah.
go. Tomorrow night.
Let's go.
Cow Palace, Swerve and Parker, the local affiliates. Tomorrow night at the Cow Palace. Get there 6 o'clock for a live episode of AEW Rampage. And then Sunday, March 5th, it goes down to Chase Center.
Yes, sir.
That's right, 4 p.m. Revolution pay-per-view. Parker, Swerve Strickland, the local affiliates in the building. Great stuff, man. Can't wait to see you guys
Hell
tomorrow
yeah.
night at the Cow Palace.
Let's
By the way,
get it.
check out Chase Center. Go see the Dubs. It's a real
Go see
basketball
that.
team.
I'm trying. Give me some tickets.
Let's see Swerve Strickland,
Tell me
man.
you're not a Laker
Actually,
fan.
I'm a player fan. I'm a LeBron fan.
Yeah, I could tell.
Yeah.
I support LeBron.
Yeah, no, I can't be mad.
I'm a
at
Lakers
that.
fan now that Russell's gone though.
Oh, here we go.
So
That's
is
his
our technical
homie.
producer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Don't tell him I said that. Actually, tell him I said that.
That's Swerve Strickland Parker, local affiliates
That
in the
was
building.
fun.
More coming up on the roast right here on 95.7 The Game.